As more and more people, I'm talking about everybody, Gentiles and walks of life are coming up and teaching lost history. The Most High is with His people. Uh, oh, I didn't make it. I didn't make it. Okay, I didn't make it. So I'm gonna have to do it like this, and I'm gonna lose the screen. But I'm gonna do it like this. All right, I'm gonna get a presentation up on the screen real quick, and then I'll tell you the inspiration behind this. And again, y'all willing to try to do it maybe every 2 weeks, or I'm not. Again, it's really, you try to be organized and you try to be prepared, but I always tell the brethren, like, this ain't our work. This ain't this. You do what the Most High put in your spirit, like, you know. Um, and I'd rather be obedient to the Most High than just try to do my own thing because it's something I'm excited about. So I don't know how often I'm gonna do it. I may try to do it every 2 weeks, but again, the Most High runs this show, not me. All right, so I got to do this a way I didn't want to do it, but let me see how it's gonna play out. Let's see, now I can't. All right, let me do this now. All right, let's get it. All right, so this is the first installment of Tazapon. Tazapon, the Hidden Ones. And I was inspired by that Gentile. She didn't inspire me the way she really just, you seen her soul. You seen her soul sincere, and also inspired because so many other naysayers are coming up, and everything that we're sharing, they're trying their best to rebut it or defeat it. And it's crazy how so many people can just be sheeple and just taking that man's word. And there's one thing I think Trump just took it and ran with it, is this phrase fake news. And that's now the blanket that's the blanket answer for anything you don't want to accept is fake news. So when it comes to this research about who the real children of Israel is, all the sources we bring up, only thing they can say is, "Oh, that's been rebutted. Oh, that proved to be pseudo." It's like there's so much research, and y'all got one. We got thousands of witnesses, but you got one rebuttal. It's pseudo. It's non-canonical. So this is my effort to just empty out my wheelhouse, to empty out my vessel, because what's the point of leaving here with things still in my vessel? Um, this is the hidden ones. This is the hidden ones. And one of the greatest curses is often overlooked. Shamoya, can we go to Debarium 32? Debarium 32, and you can read it either translation because it does say the same thing, just different words. Deuteronomy 32, and just pull 24 to 26 just for context. 24 to 26 just for context.
Deuteronomy 32 and verse 24.
Come.
They shall be burnt with hunger and devoured with burning heat. With bitter destruction, I will also send the teeth of beasts upon them, with the poison of the serpents of the dust.
Mm-hmm.
The sword without and terror within shall destroy both the young man and the virgin, the suckling also with the man of gray hairs. I said I would scatter them into corners. I would make the remembrance of them to cease from among men.
I said I would scatter them into corners. I will make the remembrance of them to cease from among men. This is one of the curses that people often forget. Not only did he promise for our disobedience, did he promise to scatter us to every nation, he promised that we will be sold to our enemies. The greatest, for me, the worst thing is I'm going to cause people to forget about how great y'all were. So now they don't know we're Israelites. Now they don't know that we come from Jacob. They don't know that we are the true original Jews, not proselytes. That's another a lie or shade to try to. If it was a black Jew, it was a proselyte. Jews always had proselytes, and that's the conversation that the true proselytes don't want to have. Because if we have the conversation, we have to bring out who was the promises left to the strangers attached, or to the original people of Jacob. So we have to keep rehearsing the hidden ones, because I'm praying that this is our generation is going to be the ones to get up out of here, but we don't know. It could be the next generation. Lawaya got boys; they could be the ones leading us out of here. So we got to make sure they're armed with truth and how to do this research, because as we speak, they're scrubbing internet sites. They're taking all kind of sites down, and I'm gonna share with you just how you have to be, what level you have to go through dealing with these wicked people.
We the only one. They try to keep it hidden, we the chosen one. Curses, we the only one. They try to keep it hidden,
We
we
the
the chosen
chosen
ones.
ones.
Get the let it off like a holy gun. Cock it back and let it blow, reload, load it.
Oh, praise. That was our brother, the Deacon, with the brothers from Jagged Edge. The Deacon and Jagged Edge got a song called "The Only Ones," and what they're saying is we the only ones who fit those curses, and that's the theme of the hidden ones. The hidden ones. I I've been back on my research grind. Those of you who are connected with me on Facebook, you see I'm posting these old books. I post all kind of old book snippets about Christmas. I found out the original of Thanksgiving. It is mind blowing. It is mind blowing. If you guys don't know how Thanksgiving started, I got a screenshot from a source how the Roman emperor started Thanksgiving and made it an annual feast. So I've been digging and digging, trying to find some pictures of some Sephardic Jews. Sephardic Jews just mean they were in Spain. The text, I think, pronounce it or writes it as Sepharad. So depending on your translation, you'll see a word like Sepharad, and all the scholars, ancient scholars, pretty much agree. And again, not that they are the rule, but Sepharad is referring to Spain, and our people were in Spain and all of Europe. Our ancestors were scattered throughout Europe. That's another that's another lie that their education tried to, and they did not try, they did. They made everything black from Africa. Everything, if you had melanin, you're Africa, you Africa, you Africa. But come to find out, it was the Moors. The Moors is a mixture of Muslims, Arab Muslims, and Hebrews. Again, Moors. The Moors are a mixture of Arab Muslims and Hebrews. And we educated Europe. All the wonderful paintings, cathedrals in Spain, it was by a dark person, either an Arab Moor or a Hebrew, being called together as Moors. So this book on the screen, I have a hard copy in my library and I've been digging back into it. And it's called Sefer HaKabbalah. Sefer HaKabbalah, the Book of Tradition. Now, I don't want anybody to be triggered or alarmed by the word Kabbalah. There is a wicked religion that our ancestors mixed into their their practices, the rabbinic Jews. So the actual practice of Kabbalah is mysticism that they picked up from the mystery schools in Babylon, and Persia had mystery schools. Almost all the nations had mystery schools. And that's where our wicked Israelite, black wicked Israelites, they came up with this system called gematria. Gematria and Kabbalah is pretty much everything is a mystery, and it has a mystical meaning. And that's when they started building. They got this system where they can make a letter. They could write letters and write sentences, and each word to have a value, a numerical value. So they're putting codes in their writings. So that Kabbalah type stuff, we don't deal with. We don't deal with. But the word Kabbalah itself just means traditions. So in this book I got, it's pretty much a record of our ancestors scattered throughout Europe, who were the heads of the schools, correspondences going back and forth, the leaders having discussions on how we should do Pesach this year, or did you guys see the new moon? Or so our ancestors kept impeccable records. Even the wicked rabbinic Jews, they kept impeccable records. Now their theology is what I don't agree with. They are the ones who wrote and developed the Talmud and the Mishnah, and that became the dominant practice. If you was not following the Talmud or the Mishnah, you were considered like a reprobate. The Talmud and Mishnah pretty much overshadowed the Torah because of these wicked Israelites. So there's a small group that was still scattered, known as Karaites. Karaite Jews come from the word karat, to cut. And the Karat Jews mean we're only following what Moses had carved in those stones. So me personally, I always take pride in saying I'm a Karat Jew. If it's not in the Torah, you can't show it to me where Moses got it. You can't show it to me where the prophets said it. I don't deal with it. But this book here has some great information about what was going on as we were scattered throughout the Middle Ages. So the Middle Ages cover anywhere from, depending on who you ask, 900 AD to like 1400 AD. Our ancestors kept impeccable records. So this is page 92 to 93 in this book. It says, in the latter area, there was a nation of Khazars who converted to Judaism. And their king Joseph sent a letter to Rabbi Hasdai, the Nasi. Nasi means teacher or prophet for that school. His name, he was born Isaac Ban Shaprat, or Shaprut, informing him, Isaac, that he, meaning King Joseph, the Khazar, that he and all of his people pursue rabbinic usage scrupulously. So this King Joseph of Khazaria, he's writing to one of our ancestors who will be called a Spanish Jew. He's writing to Rabbi Hisday, and he's telling the rabbi, all of my people, we're following rabbinic Judaism to the T. And we don't care about rabbinic Judaism. That's not the covenant that we were made, that was made with our ancestors. The point we're bringing out is our elder found out that there was a nation of Jews in the east, in the Caucasus. And our elder, Rabbi Isaac Ban Shaprut, he wrote to this kingdom asking, who are you and what tribe do you descend from? And this correspondence is now famously called the Khazar correspondence. And many scholars have deemed this letter to be authentic. But guess who says it's not authentic? The fish people. The fish people continue to say it's it's fictitious, and this Jew had some philosophy that he wanted to spread. So all objective scholars are agreeing that this Khazar correspondence is an authentic letter where King Joseph tells of his lineage. Okay, it gets better. This is another witness, and I have this hard copy. It's available to borrow if anybody wants to borrow it. It's not too expensive, paperback. This is Arthur Kessler, the 13th tribe, page 72. Now, what's just mysteriously about this author, Arthur Kessler, he is a fish, but all praises to the Most High, he came under the understanding and he started doing some research on his own people, and he pretty much exposed and wrote against his own people for the sake of truth. And he wrote and pretty much dialogued or recorded their genealogy. And y'all wouldn't believe they killed them. It's like when you kill somebody, you just validate their message. By y'all killing him, you validated his work. This is what Arthur Kessler records in his book on page 72. This is the 13th tribe. Joseph then proceeds to provide a genealogy of his people. Though a fierce Jewish nationalist, so he's a Jewish nationalist, he is singing the praises of Judah. Proud of wielding the scepter of Judah, he cannot and does not claim for them Shemitic descent. He cannot and does not claim for them Shemitic descent. He, King Joseph, traces their ancestry not to Shem or Sham, but to Noah's third son, Japhat or Yapat. He don't trace his ancestry to Shem or Sham, but to Japhet or Yapat, or more precisely to Japhet's grandson, Tograma. Tograma, the ancestors of all Turkish tribes. The ancestors of all Turkish tribes. The record goes on to say that Tograma had 10 sons. I don't know how to pronounce that word. Ugur, I believe. Dersu, Avars, Huns, Basili, Tanakia, I believe Tanaka, Tanaka, Khazar. Togarmar's seventh son name was Khazar. And this King Joseph is writing to our ancestor, Spanish Jew, black Spanish Jew, or Negro Spanish Jew. And he's telling our ancestors, I know my lineage. My family comes from Japhet, and we're from Japhet's grandson, Tergamah, and more specifically, Tergamah's seventh son named Khazar. That's who we come from. That's who our land is named after. This research is out there. Multiple scholars from all walks and religions have taught on this. There's only one group denying these records. Any comments and questions about this before we continue? Let's go to Genesis 9:27. If you're still with me, Barbershop 9:27. Genesis 9:27.
Genesis chapter 9 and verse 27. The Most High shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant.
The Most High shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem. This prophecy is being fulfilled as we speak. These people, their king tells us they are descendants of Japheth, and they are the ones dwelling in the tents of Shem. They are the ones masquerading as Shem. They are the ones where they can get you charged if you talk about their people. The word there, enlarge, is a bad translation. If you dig into it, I won't for the sake of time. The Most High is going to entice, or he's going to persuade. So that's why I see the brothers out there, and I pray the Most High keep them. I pray the Most High don't let no harm come to them, even though I think it's foolish. It is a waste of your time to try to have conversations with these fish. The Most High has deceived them. They really they can't see that they are strangers attached. They believe they are the originals because the Most High has that stupor on them. A small minority of them will confess the truth. One of the first Zionists, his grandson was one of the generals in the army. He came out years ago. We posted his clips of his interview saying that, well, I don't think my ancestors were the Israelites of 3,000 years ago. So not every one of these fish are bad people. Some of them know the truth, but they know they'll be killed if they keep preaching against that. A lot of them, not a lot of them, a minority of them don't want to be Zionists. A lot of them, it's just too much. It's too much history you have to ignore to believe they are the Israelites of 3,000 years ago. So we are the hidden ones. But this prophecy of Genesis 9:27, Japheth dwells in the tents of Shem, and the Canaanites are serving them. Those Canaanites serving them, they're blended in with the Palestinians. Some of them are descendants of Canaan. So this is prophecy. This is prophecy. Got a little bit more. We're going to get out y'all way. I pray y'all can see the screen. Okay, it's sharing. This is a legendary Italian soprano opera singer, and she was well renowned in Europe. And she made a lot of composers famous with her strong voice. This clip says she was known as the muse for these composers, captivating audiences in Paris, London, Milan with her passionate, expressive performances, often compared to the 20th century diva Maria Callas. Now we know diva means demon, but that's not what we came for. This is an Italian opera singer. But there's more. Now the video didn't load properly, but you can go. They have a recording of her voice. It is heavenly. It's heavenly. Let me see if I can take you there real quick. So no, it won't load. So that's her recording. That's her recording, y'all. And it says she made a lot of people famous, a lot of composers famous. You see the image on the screen they have of her at the top there? And then you see the image down there in the video thumbnail of this woman. This is who they want you to believe, Madam uh, Giduda. I don't know how you pronounce Italian, but her name is Madam Guida Pasta. Madam Guida Pasta, born 1798 to 1865. 1865. And this is a footnote saying that she's an Italian Jewish opera singer. Italian Jewish opera singer who was one of the leading sopranos in Paris and Italy from 1819 until about 1835. Can y'all see? I know it's kind of small. Can y'all see the red arrow where it says Ni Nigri? Ni Nigri?
I can see it up.
The water. She has a tag at the back of her name. It says Ni Nigri. And I says, that's strange. Because when you try to Google her name, all you see is these fair images. All you see is these fair images. So I Googled the tag Ni Nigri, and it says it didn't save. Oh, here we go. This is from lastnames.myheritage.com. The surname Nigri has its historical roots in Italy, particularly in the northern regions such as Lombardy and Emilia Romagna. The name is derived from the Italian word negro, which means black or dark. And it is believed to have originally been a nickname for individuals with dark hair or a darker complexion. The surname first appeared in historical records during the Middle Ages. That's strange. Because what else happened during the Middle Ages? That's when the Jews kept running from persecution during the Middle Ages. So here's this sister. You're saying she's an Italian Jewish woman, and she has a tag on her name, Ni Nigri, but you want to tell me that's a nickname if they had dark hair or maybe darker skin tone. It says here, it became associated with various occupations, including those in agriculture and trade. That's strange. Agriculture and trade. Who were our ancestors? The Jews were farmers and merchants. It says the Negri family name is often linked to the social roles of artisans and merchants. That's funny. We were artisans and merchants, reflecting the economic activities prevalent in those regions during that era. There's more. What is going on? Did my slides get out of order? My God, I have one more witness for the names. All right, let me bring this one out. I lost that other witness. This is a statesman. He was a what you would call like a congressman for the European countries, and his name is again I don't know these Italian words or French words. Francois Rene de Chateaubriand or whatever. And this is the memoirs, his memoirs he wrote, and it's 6 volumes. And I just clipped this. I'm like, wow. Now you just showed me a picture of an Italian Jewish woman, and she's pretty fair, pretty much white. This is what he said in part of his memoirs. This Francois. He says, I know it's small. I got this. I was to have left at 5 o'clock on the morning of the 30th. Count Chotek had the goodness to order horses along the road. A jobbing transaction detailed me till noon. I was the bearer of a letter of credit for 2,000 francs payable in Prague. I had called upon a fat little monkey of a Jew, who uttered cries of admiration when he saw me. I had called upon a fat little monkey of a Jew, who is often associated with that derogatory term of monkey.
African Americans.
African Americans. So here's this Gentile saying, I had called upon a fat little monkey of a Jew who uttered cries of admiration when he saw me. It gets better. He summoned his wife to his aid. She ran, or rather rolled up to me, to my feet. She sat down opposite me, quite short, fat, and black. She rolled up to my feet. She sat down opposite me, quite short, fat, and black. This is the history they have went to great lengths to hide, not just from you and I, but from the whole world. This is why the Most High is turning over the tables, and you have Christians going against their religion now, saying, I don't think those people are the people. This man is calling this woman a Jew, fat and black. Now, that fat thing, you could take it with a grain of salt, because all of us know our women, we like our women thick and plump. So to a Gentile like him, if she's about 120, 130, that's fat. And for us, we won't start getting to the fat level to about 230. Let me stop. Let me stop. My point being, Masha Pop, we are the hidden ones. And we have to continue to teach this to our little ones and teach people how to fish this out, because they're going to continue, especially now they have that technology out there, Blu-ray. They can change skin colors in front of your eye. The technology is out there. They got pictures, dead people, eyes moving in pictures. So we have to rehearse this and tell the people how we are fitting the curses. And there's ancient records in the 1400s where the description of the Jews are recorded. The description of the Jews are recorded. Okay. And the reason why all of this is important is because the Spanish Inquisition was real. The Spanish Inquisition was real. And we say Spanish Inquisition, but it was really any of the Catholic countries. It just was the worst in Spain. It was the worst in Spain. This is a book you can download. It's a PDF you can download. This is the records of the Spanish Inquisition. The records of the Spanish Inquisition. Go ahead, Rib. You got something?
Yeah. Also, if you go back the one slide where the guy was talking about the fat, um, that next line basically stated where it stated, where's it at? Uh, with two arms like fins, staring at me with her round eyes. So we've always been depicted, even in the old time movies, as buck-eyed, round-eyed, and so that's ironic, seeing that even in this time, because we've always been, whenever they do the black face, they kind of make sure the eyes are bugged out and round. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out.
Khan, great point, and I'm glad you did that because I forgot to read the bottom of that. So that's a great point. Round eyes. You guys see the Step and Fetch It videos where they got our eyes popping out our heads and all that mess, trying to make fun of us. It continues on, and this is when there's two different groups of Jews in the world now. It says, staring at me with her round eyes, if the Messiah had come in by the window, this Rachel would not have appeared more delighted. I thought myself threatened with a hallelujah. The broker offered me his fortune. letters of credit for the whole extent of the Israelitish dispersion. He added that he would send me my 2,000 francs to my hotel. He brokered he the broker offered me his fortune, letters of credit for the whole extent of the Israelitish dispersion. What are they talking about? The wealthy of our nation who were dispersed, we would pay so our people, our kinsmen, can have some reprieve, so we can continue to have our freedom. We would pay those, the wealthy of us, we would pay them so we can stay in their land and practice our religion. That's what's going on here. The broker offered me his fortune, letters of credit for the whole extent of the Israelitish dispersion. That's another code for black Hebrews when they use the word Israelitish. Because during this time, racism wasn't as prevalent as it became in the 1700s. So you still identify somebody by their religion or by their nation. So when you see Israelites, it's talking about our ancestors who the Most High promised to scatter to the four winds. This is the history they don't want us to know. And this is the records of the Inquisition. And trust me, there's horror stories of what they did to us if we were caught practicing what Moses taught us. I just read the summary right here and open up the floor. It says, it was in Spain that this terrible tribunal was destined to obtain the firmest footing and exercise the bloodiest sway. Its establishment in this country may be dated at the year of 1232 AD of the Roman Empire, and it gradually made its way into all the principalities of which this kingdom is composed. Everywhere Christianity was, they allowed them to kill us if we were caught practicing our Torah. If we were caught dishonoring their Christianity, they would kill us. But they called themselves being noble, giving us a tribunal, arresting us, taking our properties and our monies, and then bring us before their little court and drilling us, asking us questions. But it's under torture, sticking nails in your fingertips, burning your flesh, holding your eyelids open. You have to know this history, because when you get tired of living for the Most High, this will draw you to him. Our people died and was tortured trying to keep Torah. It says, principalities of which this kingdom is composed, though not without a bloody resistance on the part of the inhabitants, who entertained the utmost horror of the Inquisition, and killed many of the Dominican friars, Dominican black Jews, Dominican friars, black Jews, who were its chief ministers and the instruments of its establishment. In 1481, upon the union under Ferdinand and Isabella, Portugal, of the kingdom of Castile and Aragon, the inquisitorial constitution was reformed and modified with respect to its various limits of territorial jurisdiction, and also by the introduction of new and severe statutes and rules. This was called the Modern Inquisition, and the pretext for its establishment was the persecution of the converted Jews. What's a converted Jew? They called us new Christians compared to the old Christians who've been Catholics. We were new Christians, but if we were caught being fake Christians, they're killing us. They're killing us. This is how the cross got burnt into our hearts, literally and physically. The Spanish Inquisition, Portugal Inquisition, they tortured us trying to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments. So when you're going through this fire, when you're going through these persecutions, you're going through financial woes, you're going through marital woes. Remember, our ancestors died, was tortured, trying to come back to this thing. When you don't feel like fasting, you don't feel like keeping the feast day. Our ancestors were tortured. Horrible stories. Just go out there and just pull up. Our brothers got wonderful documentaries on the Inquisition and their torture tactics, boiling people. I just don't even want to get into it. I don't know if y'all ever heard about. This is for us older people. There was a saying that we grew up with, said, "I bust a cap in your behind." I bust a cap in your behind. Anybody ever heard that phrase before? I bust a cap in your butt. Might be too old. Yeah, I'll say you heard
God,
it.
I remember.
My wife now. That bust a cap in your behind. I grew up thinking that you're threatening to shoot somebody, and I guess our people took it as that. I'm gonna shoot you. But when you do the research, our brother brought it out years ago. Busting a cap in your anus, they would put gunpowder, pretty much a bomb, in your anus and set it on fire. That's what busting a cap in somebody behind me. Our ancestors went through great tortures and horrors trying to return to this covenant. So when the days get longer, again, praise the Most High that you're in this thing. No, it's not perfect. No, we're not. We don't know everything, but we're doing the best we can. So hold on to the Most High, like Ox said, with white knuckles, because our ancestors went through great lengths, and these people have gone through great lengths to hide this truth. That's why no matter what school you go to, no matter what country you come from, all the organized religions, all the organized school systems have been developed by one people called the Jesuits. The Jesuits are also known as the Society of Jesus. And that word Jesus has such a positive connotation. When you hear Society of Jesus, oh, they got to be good. These people were the most wicked, craftiest people on the earth. And their history with the Pope is shaky. Some popes pretty much banned them and had them kicked out, and the other popes would give them reprieve and give them free reign again. And these are the ones who became more crafty. It's like, okay, we don't have to kill them. We can educate them. So as the soldiers come in, and when I say soldiers, I mean the Catholics. As the Catholics or Christians, crusaders, conquer a new land, now let's bring the Jesuits in as priests and doctors and nutritionists to help the people. And now let's build them a little school hut. And now let's teach them that, yeah, Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492. And yeah, your people, we had to get y'all and free y'all from Africa because y'all didn't know no better. You were biting yourself and you were just eating tree bark. The Jesuits did this. That's why it's hard to talk to your family and friends, especially once they get that higher education. They think it's higher education. They're totally indoctrinated. You can't tell them their degree don't mean something. And are we against education? Of course not. If you got a dream, you want to do something here in this captivity, you got to survive this captivity. So ain't nobody saying, don't go to school, but don't lose yourself. Don't lose yourself in their schools thinking that you're learning the truth. You're just learning a program to survive captivity. The greatest witness I've seen, and I'm going to let y'all go. I went to my brother's graduation and I noticed a group of East Indian kids. They were the only ones not in the square cap and gown. And at the time I knew who we were, even though I was practicing Christianity. I found that so fascinating. So many of us are proud to put on a square cap and gown, proud that we made it through that debt in those classes. And here these East Indians know who they are and know they just need that certificate to move forward in their career. They don't need your culture. So they didn't put on a square cap and gown. That's the problem with these curses. Deuteronomy 32 and 26, was it? The Most High made the world forget our memory, forget that we are the chosen people. We are the Jews of Scripture. We are the Jews the Messiah came to rescue and reprimand at the same time. So this is the Hidden Ones part one. Again, I'm going to continue to try to put some things together. I just want to make sure my table is empty when I leave here. Any comments or questions before we close out? I think this is going to be it for the day.
Yeah, I just wanted to say something about what you were saying about the teaching false history. Like, my dad, he's a history teacher, but he only knows what the systems taught him. So he doesn't know the real history like we do. He's only been taught the books that the elites or the occult or the Jesuits, whoever on top gives them. Like, that's why I just that's why again I'm just so like lucky and blessed that y'all chose me, because I could have easily been led astray in all sorts of directions. Like, there's so many philosophies and all these books, like man's books, that can easily stir you from the truth. So I just wanted to say Dawda, to the Most High. Like, he is so gracious and merciful, and I just pray that if they receive um discernment, they do. But if not, I just pray that he keeps my soul intact and still full of joy, that I'm with them. But I just wanted to say that.
Definitely, all praises, man. Also, that Psalms 83, I had it listed just so much that I just when you get into research mode and just all these, it's hard when you done did all these years of studying to slow it down for the ones who are still learning, but they're confederate against us. These nations don't want to tell the truth because now they have to undo, or should they know in their hearts they should undo everything. Because if we tell you the truth, why are you giving them what 32 billion every year? You're giving them 32 billion because they're the holy people and we gotta help them. Even our own brother with his Money Mayweather crying out for these people. If they tell the truth, they know. I would say they know you would have to. It's only righteous to undo what you did. They're not going to tell us the truth. They're going to keep trying to bury it, kick the can down the road. These nations are confederate against the original house of Israel. They're confederate against us. So just look how many people, no research, ran and got the jab.